Hey guys, how's it going? This is Vitamin ZK's
Zuko.
and K Sizzle, and today we're gonna crack Villagers Customs. Very controversial characters. So let's get right down to it with the first special move, Garden. You can only pocket items in front of you, but it can hit foes and plant flowers on their heads. So, as you can see, if he shoots it like above, a little bit above, I can't grab this. So the range is really poor. Maybe even if I got like short hop there, like I couldn't even grab that, and I was really close to it. The normal one would have definitely grabbed the normal pocket, but this does have offensive capabilities. So I can attack, use it in the air, obviously, and plant a flower on their head. So that's neat. It's an option if you're really not scared about losing a little bit of range. So
Yeah, if you're good at like timing your pockets, you might want to add this on.
Yeah,
just for extra damage, you know.
So that's a trade-off, you know. You get a pro with an attack that can deal damage over time, but you're losing out a little bit of range. And you know, the normal pocket range is pretty crazy. So I think it's fair to say that this is an alternative that some people would definitely be inclined to use.
Right. Do you flash like invincibility when you use it?
Yes.
Okay, so you still have a little bit of it. I had the Pocket Plus. It basically is a very wider range to grab things. You could shoot.
So shoot me your pushy Lloyd, and I'm gonna shoot it back
you have
to
a weird one.
All right, so I'll shoot it 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. So that's basically the opposite of what we just covered. The range is a lot bigger now. It becomes easier, but they are slightly less effective. So if I were to so if I were to like get a fully grown tree and then she would pocket it, it won't like. Wow, that sucks. We suck. We'll try that again, and
I'll just do it like here.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot weaker. Obviously, that would have sent me like over here if it was like normal. So what you're sacrificing in the strength of the projectile makes up for in the range that you're gonna be covering. So
yeah, you do have a lot of invincibility if the flash is ending to go by. You're flashing that entire time. Can't grab anything behind you, which I'm not sure if the original one had that. But it's kind of weird.
I mean, you grabbed there's a range behind
it. Did kind of go like
you were touching me, so as long as it's on your body, you can still do it. But if I'm like where the other villager is with the number 1 on his back, me, there's not going to be an item here they're going to grab. So there's that.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the side specials. So I have Liftoff Lloyd, which fires Lloyd forward, but then he soon goes up in the air and then lets you ride to great heights if I choose to hold the button, which pretty much puts me in a pretty bad position. I guess this is really good for recovery purposes if you're for some reason you're all the way down here. But remember, your other recovery is the balloons, which is the best recovery in the game if you're using the neutral one, and the other two are definitely not anything to ignore. So yeah, it's very interesting, but I definitely want to say it's the worst of the 3 right off the bat because of the strange angle, you know? It reminds me of the Danger Wrap for Mega Man, but definitely nowhere near the kill power.
Yeah,
it is a little bit faster, but hey, when you compare the uses of the other two, you're definitely going to not want to favor this one. But hey, you might have a different preference, and it could be matchup dependent. There could be a character that's hanging out at a certain part of the stage, and you want to get that angle because you can't normally reach it.
Could you throw it on my shield?
Yep.
Right, so it's kind of nothing.
Very average.
Yeah, I have Pushy Lloyd, which is a really good upgrade to Lloyd in my opinion. It hits multiple times, sort of like if you played Marvel, Akuma's Tatsu Assist. Kind of just like you go with it and you do whatever you want out of it. Since it's bigger, it actually doesn't get broken as easily as the normal one. So if you were fighting, say, Mega Man can destroy the Lloyd once it's moving with 1 lemon, but he actually can't against this one. I don't even know if he can with lemons at all. I'm not entirely sure on the properties of this Pushy Lloyd in terms of like health, but it's definitely way more bulkier, and it's not as good for like camping. From like full screen, because it doesn't travel as far.
To the middle of the stage and then it'll blow up. So
yeah, and if you're riding it, it's not as fast. You don't go anywhere really either. But the multi-hit kind of wall that you're always sending out, it really just lets you control a lot of the stage a little bit easier. I think this one's extremely good.
Yeah, the pros definitely outweigh the cons here. I'm a big fan of frame traps, and this is what that implies. You're getting multiple hitboxes hitting, even if you're shielding. So you can get a lot out of it, a lot of mileage. Good for the
Alright.
keep away game, good for aggression game. And then we can move on to the balloons. So I have the extreme balloon trip. Fly using special balloons that don't rise as fast, but cause an explosion when they burn out. So
Yeah, one of the most hated moves currently in the meta right now.
yeah, so these balloons explode if they come in contact with an attack. So if he attacks it, then
Yeah, I'm gonna get hit, and
I
even can die, honestly,
Yeah.
depending on the rage and the.
and I do have 0% rage right now. So,
Right.
but there are other ways to make these balloons explode. If I use another balloon trip, then it'll explode. And if I tap A while I'm currently entangled up with the balloons, I can blow up one balloon, and then if I tap A again, I can blow up the other one. I have to make sure I'm connected to the balloon. So if I tap AA, then both will explode. So that can actually help my recover up too, to make it less predictable.
Right, it
Because
makes
I can
it really hard
because I
to
jump up
punish
really
it.
hard after the second balloon explodes. Now this move is really hated. A lot of people want to say it's over-centralized, and I want to disagree now that Villager did get nerfed in the balloon side, because I'm going to up B and try to tap as much as I can, see how much I can go up. Okay, now I'm going to go do it again. That's it. So they gave it recharge time, like similar to Rob's gasoline and that stuff. So you can't like use it as liberally. Obviously, you can use it on the ledge, and if you're just dropping, then it won't be that much. But the reason that this move shines too much to be so hated is because of one of the next custom moves that we're going to talk about. Comboed with the timber counter is ridiculous. But when you look at this move standalone, it's not that big of a deal. It's strong. It is good.
Let me just add on. For recovering purposes, it's best if you're very low, because you can't really mash that B too much, but you can explode yourself and it pops you up. Now, if you do that, you won't snap to the ledge until you're like going downwards.
Yeah.
So this gives your opponent the opportunity to hit you out of it, and you know, if I like knock you down, or if you're trying to do it too much, and I like just hit you out of it, then you're gonna have to be forced to do that kind of thing. But yeah, I do think this custom move is very good, but not bannable, just because there have been tons of ways to deal with it. If you're like, it's a matchup thing. If you are a character like, say, maybe Marth or something, maybe Marth's good at it, but I'm just
really
using Marth
is
as
like
an example,
a matchup
where
thing.
he doesn't have a ton of options to like go off stage and fight somebody planking on the ledge, but a ton of characters do. It just becomes like a reading game, and if you have the lead, they literally can't do that. They have to come to you. So kind of forced to play the patient game, but let's move on because we're gonna have to talk about this custom move again anyway.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to yours. You have the balloon high jump.
Yeah, which just jumps extremely high. I can't mash it. It's just one straight jump. It does have a hitbox, and that's pretty much for the entire time I'm going up. The balloons will knock him away, so it's a kind of safe way to come back. I mean, it is very like good in terms of like recovering. You go pretty low, and you can. I still made that back.
You're
so,
basically covering that range that you would normally get to with the normal up B. Instead of you don't have to mash and you go up really far. You will be limited to the angle that you're going in, because
you
obviously
can't really
with the,
angle this
you
at all.
can't like you can move left, right, and contemplate where you want to go. But this one you have to decide in that instant where you want to go.
So yeah, not much to talk about. It just
Yeah.
goes straight up, very
Good
far,
alternative.
has a hitbox, but you have no control over where you're going. Just one straight path.
All right.
Let's go. Let's move on.
Now let's move on to yours first. Let's start with the super timber so we can end it off with the trip sapling.
Alright, sure. So this is a very big tree. Takes a little bit longer to grow, but the offensive capabilities are stronger. Even the axe, it's a little slower, but it's also better for knockback.
Yeah.
Now, if I hit him
I'm
with this, I'm gonna have to. Sure, yeah. It's as you would expect. The tree is bigger. It has more health, I believe, and the knockback is greater as well. Maybe he would. I don't think he would die here, but maybe you get sent in a really bad position. So that was pretty good, almost. Off stage, you're just like sending a gigantic tree down there. Let's check that out.
Yeah, so it's a very good edge guarding tool right there. You're covering just gigantic space in a hitbox that you do not want to get hit by. So, very good option. But remember that everything is a bit slower. Like the planting is a little slower.
Watering, axe, chopping.
Watering takes a little bit.
Stuck there for a little bit longer. Like I have to actually put my axe away all that time.
Yeah.
So it's a very obvious trade-off. More
Yep.
power for less speed.
Yep.
Can't really think of anything else to say.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just get rid of this thing.
So now we'll move on to the final custom special, which is definitely one of the most controversial, definitely on the tier of Con Cyclone, and that is Timber Counter. A lot of people like to call it Trip Sapling. We'll call it by its official name, I guess, for now. Timber Counter. So a fresh sprout trips opponents, and then the fully grown tree fights back if attacked. So this, I don't want to I think we're gonna focus on that a lot. So let's move on to the Wobbuffet.
Yeah.
This one reminds me of like Wobbuffet Pokemon because if you get Wobbuffet in this game, or I don't even know if he's in this game, but you do get knocked back. It fights back, So it is a good wall there to keep. Very very good for the keep away game.
But I think it's way weaker.
It's way weaker if I were to chop it on you. You almost maybe 10% earlier, you probably would have lived.
Yeah.
So it's very weak in that regard. But that's not where it shines at all.
Is your axe weaker? You should check
yeah, we checked that. Let me. I want to say yes. I don't. Yeah, that does nothing, man. All right.
Yeah,
so,
that's not even worth using, honestly.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about what this move is all about. Now, here it is, the Timber Counter. So this stays on screen for about 16 to 17 seconds. To our knowledge, this can't be stopped. There's nothing that can pluck this out of the ground or anything like that. You can't counter it. You can't absorb it. I have no idea how to defeat this move once it's out there. And all I had to do is down B.
Yeah,
and
I can't even interrupt him. Immediately.
I feel like I have complete control of the neutral for about 16 seconds. Obviously that's stage dependent as well, because if I were to put it here, then no. But if I'm here and there is no ledge grab limit and I just want to mess around here, I can do a lot of things. I have very scary attacks that have very disjointed range, and to have complete control of this area for that long,
right.
that's a big deal. And
if he does that and I'm losing,
what do you do?
To approach. I have to jump in.
And there is no cooldown.
Maybe.
And there is no cooldown in the sense that once it disappears, I can't use it for 10 seconds. No, I can use it immediately.
Yeah.
And that's
I have
it.
to deal with it again.
So it's
the way a villager will play with this is he'll use this, equip the balloons, and maybe he'll have this Lloyd or the other one, the standard one, and he'll just stay here and he'll do this and then up B into the stage, and you kind of just have to find that one opportunity where they mess up.
Yep. It really reminds me of if in Marvel.
It's really degenerate way to play the game. I shouldn't be forced to play this insane waiting game where there's just all these things that I have to find my way around and then maybe hit him. He can't just up B like that, because I can maybe spike him if I have a spike. But he also has options. He can delay it, his up B, and then blow the balloons up at a certain time,
Yeah.
He blows himself up, he'll travel up. There's
a ton of mix-ups about it, yeah.
It's
and
not that straightforward. People will tell you, just spike it. And sure, you can just spike it. But, it's not that free. If you're fighting a good villager, they're not just going to let you do that. They're going to know you're coming towards you. You're going to throw this Lloyd out, and then they're just going to get back because you can't destroy this thing. You can't, punish it. You have to just kind of roll through it. And then, he plays it, you hit him, and then you have to, play the desperate game of, oh, I hope he doesn't get another one. I have to stay on top of him. And not every character can do that. So.
Yeah. And if you trip, you're forced to choose a direction to go in, and I might be able to get an F smash read off of that. And it's just, this move is overcentralizing. This is the definition of overcentralization. If you have this move in your arsenal, there's no reason why you shouldn't use this move. Why wouldn't you? And you should be flocking to it. You'd be dumb not to. So definitely.
We think this is ban worthy.
Yeah.
Mainly with the combination of the other moves, but it's on its own. There's really nothing you can do. It just gets even better when you have the other customs.
Yeah.
Now I don't think that the exploding balloons are too much of a problem. They're definitely extremely strong. Don't get me wrong, but they have their weakness. his recovery's way worse, and the new timer kind of limits him to where he can go with that. And there's been tons of like strategies that kind of get around it. It might not be that fun to play, but I don't think it's necessarily ban-worthy at this point, assuming this trip sapling is not allowed. Because if that's not allowed, then you can at least go around here and only have to worry about the balloons and the Lloyd. You don't have to worry about tripping over everything for like every 2 seconds or whatever. Yeah,
So
I don't know.
hope you guys learned a lot on that and why we feel the way we feel about all these moves, you know? Like, all these moves coupled together, they're very strong, but this is the heart of it. This is the foundation. That's where everything revolves around. Everything else, it doesn't seem broken. This seems like there's something clearly wrong here. Why can't anything beat this move? Why can't it be absorbed? Why can't it be countered? Why is it stuck on the screen for so long? Why is there no cooldown afterwards, you know? There's too many things wrong with this move, and if there is to be a compromise, this needs to go. So that's our stance. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments. Give us a like, comment, subscribe, and spread the video around, and we'll come back for the next video.
Alright.
See you guys next time.
Later.